Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider checking out all the links in the description on ways you can help me continue doing this work. And if you would like artwork, hearts, business card holders with gems inside, skulls, stuff for your desk, and all kinds of other goodies, especially pyramids, protection pyramids, absorption pyramids, artwork, any of that stuff. You can check out my website, alleycatcreations211.com. You can view all my portfolio, and if you're interested in anything, please send me an email. I do everything privately at the moment. Spiritual soul advice. Hi, guys. So a lot of people were like, what's wrong with you, girl? A lot. Oh, a lot has been going on the last 3 weeks. I'm only laughing at it now because it still sucks, and it is what it is. I don't even know where to begin because there's just so much. I don't know if I'm in a relationship or not, just by the way, and I really would like to just put this out there. I don't know what it is with people and their boundaries. And this doesn't apply to people that have my best interests and know me personally to an extent, because unless you're in my physicality, you really don't know me. There are a lot of strangers out there sending me messages and some very obtrusive things that I wish, I don't know why people do this stuff, especially to females. It's not like I see every hot guy and I'm going to send him a message to say how hot he is. Like, what are you looking at? What are you lacking in your life that you need to do that? That just want to put that out there. I'm not alone in that realm. Ladies, you know it. You feel it too. You get those messages. I don't know why it happens. Get a life. Do explore your life. So I don't know what's up with my relationship, if I'm in one or not. I at this point kind of transcended it all. I was in a dark night of the soul. That wasn't the trigger. That was like the fudge and the caramel swirl in the sundae of shit. That wasn't my catalyst. What really took place was something medically. I still don't know what's wrong. I am waiting for an email from the job to start enrolling myself into the programs like medical, and I get it, it's matrixy shit, but it's stuff that I still believe in the medical industry, not the pharmaceutical. I believe we do need doctors and nurses, and we do need those things, because if we have an accident or something that is something we can't heal from within, sometimes we need to seek out those angels on the outside. And I've seen it in person. I've seen angels embody other people. You know, what would you do? Oh, you're going to take an herb to have when you have a heart attack. Like, you know, be mindful and be logistical in your head when you're thinking about, oh, fuck this system. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I haven't had health insurance in 2 years. I try to do the best that I can. I make the best attempts to do supplements and change things up. My body reacts very oddly to chemicals. I have a lot of chemical reactions that are adverse to most other people. Most people are fine. For me, holy crap, shitstorm. So anyway, getting off on the tangent, I woke up to a lot of bruising and a lot of pain from my armpit into the girls. really bad. And I didn't hit the fear button. I didn't like, assume that I have something like that will kill me. It just was painful. And I was going through other things as well, physically, that really hurt. And the catalyst for the relationship issue is when I wanted a hug, like absence, silence. I don't know if he's going through whatever he's going through. He might be going through the same dark night of the soul issue that I'm going through. I don't know. He won't talk to me. I wrote how I felt and expressed it sincerely. And I'm giving him space. And at this point, I care for him and the girls, but I have to secure my future in my own self. No one's going to do that for me. No one's going to do the internal work for me to transform. As I was going through analyzing the whys, the deeper whys, why is this concurrently cycling in my life? Like I make, it's a double-edged sword. Like spiritual work, it really is a double-edged sword, because at one point you shut yourself down in order to do the healing, to ask the questions. And for me, I did it for 13 years. I was in a narcissistic, empathic relationship that shattered my world. It shattered my soul. It closed down my heart. And through that experience, I signed up I asked him to do that to me. I did. I asked for that. I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea. But I did that for myself because I needed a change. I needed to see something in a bigger scale. I needed to understand in a bigger scale. And it took a long time for me to come out of it and learn to love myself and know myself. And through this journey of all the death and change and more death and more change, health issues and change, and the cycle keeps going and going and going, but my reactions change to the cycle. I knew this was going to be one of those relationships, and it's still probably, I don't know what's up. I don't know the status, but I knew in depth that this was a challenge and a test for me. I knew this. I've changed a lot of my reactions to the old self to the new self. I did. I've changed. Instead of going to his house and throwing what he left here on his lawn and being, you asshole, right? I didn't do that. I'm a bigger person now. I'm more involved in my thinking. I'm just going to let it be. The old me is destructive. The old me is lashing out and causing a fucking scene. The old me is maniacal and evil. When someone hurts me, karma is a horrible asshole to that person. And I only know this because every one of the people that really broke my heart and really hurt me had the worst luck and karma hit them in every aspect of their lives. And until they recognize that what I told them in the beginning is to apologize sincerely to me, their lives didn't get any better. Heroin addict, someone who still didn't sincerely apologize to me, they just can't get their lives together. And the people that really sincerely understood what they did to me, their lives got a lot better. And I'm very happy for them. I'm not one to attach too hard anymore. I used to attach. It's about detaching emotional states. And we're all challenged to do this. Doesn't matter if it's in a relationship of a romantic sort, it could be a work environment, it could be your family, it could be anything. When you take your emotions and you nullify it, null and void, and come into the middle space and see on all sides what is the lesson, Okay, so you're not so much upset anymore and you deal with it, and it's a process. The world, as Linda Good McGillis yesterday was on Alexander Quinn. Go watch it. I still have to watch it like 3 more times because what she says is like heaven in my ears. The world is going through the dark night of the soul. We're not out of it anytime soon, but we're halfway, kind of, sort of getting there. The world is going through a dark night of the soul. It needs to purge what doesn't work, what needs to be released. And that is a process because it's been not just this life that I'm in living right now. It's all the concurrent old lives, the selves that were from the first density all the way up to third. All the concurrent timelines that are merging into this being is being expressed through emotional shit. And that is what we are purging. So I really, there's a reason why everything happens. There's a reason why we go through these times where we're extremely depressed. I know I had like 6 days of going into the hot tub and like sweating it out. Like I put it on highest heat that it could be, and I dumped in, and I mean that also for my health purposes needed to happen. I needed my circulation system to be back in check. I cried myself every day to let it go and release. I went to the trees. I was walking my property to release what no longer serves me. And that is a lot of unconscious shit. When we unfold the lotus, it doesn't just go sparkle farts and glitter. It's unfolding its layers to be revealed, each layer. And each layer gets deeper and deeper until you get to the absolute bloom. And take your healing in that analogy. Each layer is something you got to deal with, and sometimes it doesn't present itself right away. It could take years, lifetimes, to show its ugly reared head. And it's up to us to recognize it and to clear it. And that clearing doesn't just happen once, it happens multiple times. But when you see a cycle of patterning start to repeat in your life, it is time to put up the boundaries and stand in your conviction and stand in your heart space to stop this cycle from continuing. We are all here to clear karmic family line bullshit, our own selves bullshit, all of that ancestral stuff has to be released and let go. Gaia is ascending with us and it is purging itself. The consciousness of Earth is consciously getting rid of its own shit. We're going through a very difficult cycle of retrogrades as well. I did a TikTok about not allowing this to run your life, but it is a sign. Those are things that if we see it appear in our physicality that we need to deal with. Saturn is huge in this, getting rid of the fucking crap that no longer serves you. Decluttering your life. Going through your mental shit. Taking check. Where have you grown? And it's not to say stick with the negative and learn only go. What have you done to grow yourself? Where have you evolved? How does your reactions evolved from where you used to sit in shit to where you are now? Only you can answer that. I know the last 3 weeks of my life has been nothing but extreme testing on higher density levels. I had July 3rd, a hit and run right in front of my house. I thought my house got hit. I thought my car was done. And I had a woman that landed into my driveway on a crazy angle. Finally, yesterday, took 2 hours for 5 people to remove that car out of my driveway. And I was not the nicest person yesterday to that woman, because people tend to take advantage. If you're an adult, you got into an accident, and yes, it's not, I don't know, it could have been your fault. I don't know. But what I do know is that take responsibility for your property and your actions and do the right thing, because someone's trying to help you. And my kindness gets taken advantage of too many times. Finally, she got everything out of my driveway. I saw, because I purify my land. I bless my land. I put protection up. I saw when I tapped in to what happened, because I had to decompress. My nervous system was shot. Like shot, I was shaking. My adrenaline was running as if I got hit. I saw my angels lift her car up and set her down, land, sit her into my driveway and stop her from going any further from where she was. She's lucky. But as all of that was going on, the holy hell, why is the universe showing me these things? Why? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to continuously feel that I am going through the rings of life constantly, that I don't get a break? I don't have a break. I don't have a fresh breath of air. I'm always running and doing and capturing for others, but when I fall, there is crickets. Like, I'm not talking about support from away from me. So I have a lot of supportive people who give me, really nice words of encouragement and so much love. And I appreciate that. That's something I've never had a lack in. What I have a lack, or the illusion of lack, is the right people showing up physically for me, for walking into my life to help me. I'm always there for other people. I am running people all over the place in my life. I've always have been that. I've always been the mommy in the group of friends who everybody else is getting drunk and drugged up, and I'm the one driving them home and making sure they're alive. In my youth, I did some stupid shit, but I usually was the grounded one. I was the good person that watched everybody and made sure everybody else was having fun while I sat back in anxiety, hoping that no one died. Just don't understand it. It's something that I need to go through to heal, and I'm still going through my healing. It's not like the dark night of the soul just ended. It's like, it's over. But today I took the first step. Yesterday, really. I took the first step. I did a TikTok. I forgive myself. We always want to forgive others, but until you forgive yourself and let go, you can't forgive other people. Until you say, I'm sorry to yourself, you're showing up for yourself. I love myself. I really do. It's not a selfish thing. It's a healthy thing. You can't love another person like love in all its word form definition until you love yourself. And you put up that definition in your heart space. I am doing a lot of poetry. It doesn't really rhyme. Doesn't really matter. I'm putting it out there on TikTok so that other people have a permission slip to do it for themselves. Write it down. I'm sorry I didn't show up for myself today. I forgive myself for allowing other people to walk all over me. I forgive myself for allowing people to take advantage. I'm sorry that I keep showing up and putting my energy out freely with no return. Whatever it is, do the work within yourself. Apologize. Forgive. The next couple of TikToks I'm going to be doing, having gratitude, being thankful. Because we still live in duality. We have the positive and the negative side, but we got to neutralize the negative. We need to heal. We need to see, it's an opportunity to see clearly what is not being shown in front of you sometimes. These are the important steps in doing your work. I don't know what you're talking about when you're doing your self-work, Allison. It's asking yourself the deeper questions, the layered questions, and doing it in such a way that you're not blaming yourself. We got to get rid of the blame shame game, because there's always a reason why things happen to you, for you. What is it? Why is it happening for you? What do you need to see? What is the lesson to learn? When you can start and analyzing it objectively, kind of have to go through a little bit of grieving for yourself and let it go emotionally to get to that objective point. The shadow work is really ego death. It's letting go. And that's not easy to do. We need our ego to keep us alive and to be safe and have our character and our personality come through. But there's a rebirth and a death all in the same instant, in the same breath. It's up to us to acknowledge when that starts happening and do a lot of introspecting. And that's right now what the energies are asking us to do, is go within. And I think the last half of a year, 6 months, I've been asking people to do the work, to go within, to know thyself, to stand on your 2 feet and just stand there, acknowledging yourself. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know what starseed family you're from, or what is your soul name, or what am I as a soul. Your soul will tell you when it is your time to know it, if you allow yourself to see it and hear it and feel it and emote it. Why are you here? What is your purpose? I'm going to play 2 of the TikToks that I did the last 2 days, and I hope that when you watch it, hopefully everything works, but you explore for yourself what the work I'm doing in the moment is something you can use as a tool to help you if you're going through it too.
Blessings and Grand Rising. I'm going to use a tool, and I hope that a lot of you follow this example and write in or say to yourself some of these things that I'm about to read. It's more for me personally, but it's something I feel some many people should explore. I forgive. I forgive myself for loving too hard the people, places, and things that do not honor me back. I forgive myself for falling for deception, for the lesson is so painful to learn. I forgive myself for not putting up stronger boundaries. I forgive myself for giving out my energy freely with no return. I forgive myself for taking a chance after being alone for so long. I thought it would be different. I forgive myself for allowing people to take advantage of me and my kindness. I forgive myself for being a mountain for others where there isn't a rock to lean on when I fall. I forgive myself for forgetting what I am and my mission. Here, damn human, emotions get in the way. I forgive myself for not seeing my worth. I forgive myself for thinking I change and be the change, the game changer in someone's life. I am sorry to be led astray, for giving myself away, for giving too freely with no return. I am sorry I was your mountain, no rock to lean on after I fell. I am sorry the illusion of time caught up, showing me a strain. Sorry your expectations you had for me got washed away. Sorry for the karma now you must endure, for what you put out comes back times who knows how long. Sorry for the karma you will endure, for you didn't see the lesson that I brought to your front door. Sorry for being a mirror to show you what you need to heal, to be a model for others to learn from as well. Sorry for showing my worth, my loyalty, and my love. I forgive myself and now I release, for what is meant to be will be in divine accordance. I forgive myself for not seeing my soul contract for what it is and accepting the mission here on earth that is brought to the forefront of humanity. I am sorry to myself that I've been led astray. This damn human body, man, it needs to go away. We need to forgive ourselves for the things that others know not, for the things that we try to do as a good person. We want to model good behavior. We want to be game changers in the world. And when people around us just aren't there to show up for you as you show up for them, it shows you how much stronger you need to persevere in a walk in your aloneness until someone meets your energy and appreciates you for what you are, who you are, with no apologies. So I am now going to show up for myself, put my boundaries up high. Doesn't mean I'm shutting myself off, but I got to stand in my convictions, and I got to be the pillar of strength for myself. Blessings and grand rising, everybody. This is Allison from AlleyCatCreations. I'm going to read something I wrote today. I am sorry. And this applies to anybody that I owe an apology to, including myself. I am sorry you didn't see my true form, the archangel, the light in its infinite form. I am sorry you let me go. I am sorry you didn't see my worth. I am sorry you allowed the outside world to dictate your reality. I am sorry you truly thought I was going to kill you for not taking. I'm sorry I was being your pillar, your rock. I am sorry for my metamorphosis. In the in-between is messy and dark. I am sorry I invested into life so passionately that it fell apart. I am sorry I expressed my love through my actions and my heart. Sorry I cared, putting energy of good intent in all things. Sorry my time was wasted. Ah, but such is this life, duality, polarity, as for all is source, creator, that all expresses itself through all of us. It's an ego death we all must explore, release the shame, blame, to only forgive, set free, and soar high. Sorry to myself, because I am my own worst critic. Sorry to myself for doubting my own love I denied to myself. Sorry I let you down, I didn't see the lesson. The signs are obscured sometimes, these damn human emotions we signed up for. I volunteered to traverse time and space, to experience separation, limitation, to be in a linear continuum, yearning to be the infinite light, source for all to be held in. Sorry to myself I didn't detach emotion young enough. The eagle eye view was fuzzy. I'm sorry to all of those I hurt for the lessons I learned to do better worked. Sorry for allowing others' judgments and criticisms to affect me. Shedding my old self to form the new is a void of space being torn at every angle. Zipping through the wormhole, the unseen forces I once knew showed themselves, piecing me back together anew. Sorry to myself, for the veil of forgetting can be so cruel. I am thankful now for all my pieces of the infinite me is slowly coming back into this form. I indeed needed to shed the old to make room for the new me. I am sorry to apologize to myself, for the veil is lifting, and I have to be compassionate to myself. I am sorry to all of those that I hurt. I'm sorry to myself for all the things that needed to be said but was silent. I hope all of you can apologize to yourself and to others. For we do things sometimes unconsciously, we say things we don't mean. We do it out of anger, but anger is just a catalytic tool to help us understand the passion that runs inside of us. When we're passionate and we get angry, there's a trigger to be explored. There's something to look into, something to heal. So I'm sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion.
Sorry guys, it was loud. I don't know if you guys, I don't really share sound often on any of my videos, so I don't know if that came out. Sorry, I'm just like minimizing shit. Yeah, so I hope you don't need to be poetic about it. I tried to be poetic about it a little bit, but hopefully it comes out. I'm sorry if I wasted your time, but it's something for you to grow and to explore with, and to write down your sorries, to write down I forgive. Start with yourself and then move on to the people, places, and things that now you objectively saw the bigger picture. You know, we're in the moment, sometimes we get heated because we are so passionate about our belief, our feelings, that we not only dismiss others, but we feel like we have to avenge ourselves and be in the, the protection of our own light, that we hurt other people. Sometimes oops, I said something so mean. I didn't mean to say it. And we do this throughout our entire lives. So when we could sit back and apologize to ourselves and then to other people, it frees up a lot of space within you. You're listening to Linda Good McGillis yesterday was mind-blowing, and wow, I have to listen to it like 3 more times because shit, man. It's intense stuff. A lot of what she was saying is we are really incorporating right now. This is the space in time, in this linear space, that we are like in the liquid gunk, transforming. We are becoming the butterfly. The world is also doing the same thing. And so it's a personal and an external, outside of yourself process. The alignments with the planets, all this stuff is really affecting a lot of us, and some of it is conscious and some of it is not. All the retrogrades and stuff, is it real? Is there really Saturn? We don't know. But the energies are affecting us all in different ways. A lot of people have been reaching out for oracle readings. I did 2 yesterday. And let me tell you, it's a very big theme that it's about going and doing the work and the shadow aspect of self. You have to acknowledge the shit that you occurred and have perpetuated in your life. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. We all go through this. This is a part of the human experience that we all must endure. We signed up for an experiment that has never been done before in events of this universe. Our oversoul, the many entities that compose of our fractal of the little aspect that's in this body, our oversoul chose this consciousness, this part of our consciousness that's in this body right now, chose us because they knew we can handle it all. And in those dark moments, I know I was going through it for 3 weeks, just about, sitting and crying and sleeping and just trying to detox and trying to look through my mind. It's annoying, but I did it. I feel so much better today. But it's still a process of healing. I still hurt. I still don't know what's going on, but I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it. And when it does come up and it needs to be addressed again, I will have a different perspective from it, because now I saw it in a dark form. I saw like, okay, why should I be reacting this way? Why? Because I'm using my emotional states. I'm human. Allison, let it go. You're human. You're not in this form. You're human. You're incorporating your light into this vehicle. You're incorporating your other selves and the multidimensionality of all of it. Give yourself some damn compassion. It's a process that most people are not consciously aware of, and you are. So breathe, because all is going to happen regardless of divine synchronicity, orientation, divine orchestration. It's all going to happen regardless. I wrote my story. It's just about remembering it. And the story is so huge. Like I said to one of my clients yesterday, the old book, we just finished the book. It was beautiful, but it's a cliffhanger. And that book is now put onto the shelf. And we're in the process of now writing the continuation of that story, but it's all new and it hasn't been written yet. We're sitting there with the typewriter, with the pencil. We're sitting there with the type. I don't know what to write. You're in the stages of writing a brand new book with amazing chapters yet to be written. We haven't defined what we all want as a humanity, because that's a part of the dark night of the soul of the humanity in the earth. It hasn't gone away yet, but the book is on the shelf now. We're in the in-between. We're in the process of writing a new consciousness, a new energy, a new place to explore, but we don't know what that looks like yet. And I know for some of us in the astrological signs, I have to have the knowing. What is it? We got to be patient because the book hasn't been written yet. Chapter 1 has not started. We're not even on the introduction yet. We might start in the process of writing the introduction and the thank you letters, but we haven't gotten it edited yet. We haven't polished that, even the introduction yet. We're starting a new phase, and this is going to take a long time to merge in because we're all stair-stepping. Linda made a good point to say, we can't, I say this to also, if we were to have the flash of light, how many of us would die? Because our bodies can't handle the frequency, the change, the instantaneous. We would be on unsolved mysteries. We would have pictures of our ash on a chair because we combusted. Spontaneous human combustion. We are energy, folks. If we were to do this in a snap, there would be so much confusion because you don't know what needs to be released and what the new you is. You wouldn't go through this because she made an analogy which was very smart yesterday. I love her. Hi, Linda. If you watch me, hi. I appreciate you. It took you, let's just say, for me, I'm 41. It took me 41 years to get to this point. It took a lot of lessons. It took a lot of energy. It took a lot of learning and a lot of going back and forth and exploring and ups and downs and loss and grieving. And it took 41 years to get to this point. Now my body is being asked to incorporate all the other lives, the 28,628 other lives that I've lived in density. That's just density. In other beings, other vehicles, and I'm now taking it all into this body. How the hell can I process all of that in one snap? You can't. It's being stair-stepped. Stair steps. The way showers, the people who, like myself, Bashar, the Law of One people, all of these people that are discovering and going through it and trying to help others, talking about it, reading old books, just discovering and getting it out, the concepts that I feel that a lot of people need. And I'm not alone in doing this. We're all trying to be pillars. We're the way showers. We are these souls that have assignments in this realm for this purpose. We're going through the shit first. We're going through it so that we learn through the experience, the suffering, the pain, the hell. We're going through it so that we can be the buffer and the strength and the pillar and the mountain to help other people. And when those people rise up onto that step, they're going to go through it. They're going to have somebody to look to help them walk through it. I can't walk you and do it for you. You have to walk through it yourself, but I can hold your hand. You can lean on my shoulder. And for a lot of us who are the way showers, It is a very lonely and very sad path sometimes, because we want that shoulder. We want somebody to be our rock, and we have to be our own rock and our own mountain and our own pillar to lean on our own selves. That's the sucky part, because no one's showing up for that. And it's not to say that people aren't showing up. It's people far away that can't be here physically to give me the hug. It's people that giving me the energy hug. And that does help, and it does make me feel better. And I'm not discluding those people, because I do appreciate it. It's just I want to hug, a physical hug. I want to have that connection. And I can't hug little Thor. He won't let me hug him. He lets me pet him once in a while. Like, I need a kitty. But I'm here doing this work so that I can be the anchor for others. And a lot of you are doing the same or in the same processing. It's a stair step ascension. Go like Pista Sophia. Yeshua goes and talks about with the apostles. Well, that person just keeps recycling the same bullshit different ways. But you have to get Yeshua back. You have to give them compassion, for they know not. But they're coming back and doing the same thing. Okay, but you give them patience. They're slow learners. Pista Sophia is about the level of ascension and going through the different cycles, getting higher and raising in light. But he's just explaining it in the way he did it, which was physical death. You can't equate Yeshua to now. We are the Christs. It's an office. Kizzy Enoch is right. It is an office held by multiple beings. It's not held just by Jesus. Yeshua was here to impart that. Walk with me. Be like me, because I am the Christ. You are too. He was trying to tell you. For our religious people out there, hi. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but he's here, tapping into me. He's here. Sorry, I had to respond to something. Yesterday, during one of my readings, the client saw me shift multiple times and saw a representation of Yeshua. We need to understand that stair stepping is very much the the building I always ascribe to. You're in a building and the people at the top are not or is as important to the people on the bottom. Everybody in that building has a purpose and a reason of being. And each of us are on different levels of that building. And when you do the work, the elevator doors open for the next level of shit that you need to do. There is no free passes handed to you. The only thing you get is a permission slip to be active in your role in this humanity, be an active role in your own healing, to be an active participant in the shift. That is what we are giving you, a permission slip to say, it's okay. Go through the feeling. Be the flow in the moment, in the feeling, and let it glide and let it go. It's so much easier said than done. I go through these dark night of the souls. This is number 7 probably. And when I hit them hard. Where I don't want to live in the body anymore. I want to escape. I wouldn't do anything. I haven't and never will do anything to myself. That's to be clear. But I know that feeling. I know that void and I know that abyss very well. For goodness sakes, I carry a DNA of someone who took their life. I have to release her. That energy that's stuck. That's my job. It's a hard one. My mother, my birth mother. I have to release that energy. It's not an easy task, but it was asked of me to do. I'll graciously do it. We all are going through and will, if you haven't had that yet, it's okay. But when it happens, it'll show up differently for all of us. It usually does. We're individualized. We're an expression of source, having a beautiful, unique experience. But God's also dark too. And you appreciate the light so much more when you're going through the dark night. Because the dawn of the new day is soon arising. And you have to be prepared in order to take those steps to arise as high as you can go in that building or in the light. We're not trying to leave anybody behind. This is why it's going to take a long time. And it's for us way showers to do it first. And a lot of us have been presented with this shift first. And it's very heavy and it's a lot of energy and it's very difficult. So give yourself compassion. I had to leave that egoic essence of, I got this. You know, I don't. Now I'm getting back on my feet. I'm still not completely on my 2 feet just yet. I'm there. I got to get the rope. But we're all going through something. And it's going to show up in the 3D world. We need to acknowledge its all dimensionality as well. It's all the things that we need to release that will no longer serve us. We're making room for the new self, the new consciousness. I've been talking about this. It's the old self gotta go. But we're still not knowing what this new self will look like. We're in this in between. And it's this void in between that we're learning how to activate and how to live in. Like I said in the TikTok, I'm in the void where I'm seeing my other selves, my interdimensional friends coming back and putting me back piece by piece. You know how we teleport and, you see it on Star Trek where your particles are all displaced. A lot of us are in that phase where our particles are goodbye. Bye. And we haven't come to form just yet. We're in that stage. It doesn't feel good. It's static and it's painful. We're in that point. We're in the middle of that. So give yourself some, it's going to be okay. Put faith in the universe that everything is going to happen according to divine orchestration and what you wrote for yourself. When you can do that, and you're the creator of your own reality, and now reality is shifting and it's changing. We don't know what it's going to look like. We get glimpses, but it's a frequency we have yet to collectively hold. It's just not me. I know what I want, but it might not be what you want, but we have to come into an agreement as a soul group, as a collective, to formulate the new. We're just not there yet. So we're in that limbo stage, we're in the void of space, creating the new. And a lot of the times it's already there, it's written for us. But we still have free will to make the changes to make it better. And I'll get to my next point after this. Pause. So I had to center myself because the next thing I want to talk about is not the easiest topic to talk about. Ruth Montgomery, The World to Come. This is a fantastic book. I have a lot of things against this book. And not to say she does spiritual writing, and it's why I did not continue on in the personal survival with the Curtis books, because they're going to talk about automatic writing. She's a typist, automatic typist. She types and she gets channeled from spirit. She's a medium. It's a short book and I'm almost done with it. But she's one example out of many people, many, who rely on their guides to give out information to the public. I've expressed this in many ways with remote viewing and psychic prediction. I'm with Bashar that when people predict things, it's a potentiality that could or could not happen. It depends on the collective consciousness of humanity. Okay, mind you. In one of in this book, she talks about, and this is written in the 90s. Okay, this is like pre-2012. A lot of Ashiana Dean's work is also pre-2012. So I take things with a light of air that there are a lot of there were and are still a lot of changes to the collective consciousness that dictates what the reality is going to stick to. And the idea, the Zetas also do the same thing, that the earth is going to shift its poles and we're going to have catastrophe and a hell of a lot of fucked up shit happening. Okay. It's a potentiality. If you align with it in your heart space, prepare. But are you going in your heart space? Or are you relying on someone else's guides to know what's true for you? Why I don't sit here, close my eyes, and have things come through me. Yeah, they listen. When I asked about my future to the medium that I adore and love, my guide showed up to say, hey, guess what? You're going to have to work, physically work. You're going to get back on your feet eventually. You're going to be recognized for the work that you do eventually. And it may or may not potentially plan out the way you wanted it to. But know that what everybody's expecting to happen isn't going to be so. And the last couple of weeks, my spirit guides, my higher self, my higher guidance has said, this is why you don't have those abilities. We can have those. I can have those abilities if I choose to have them, but it's not a requirement. They want you to go into your heart and know yourself. And they're here because I'm going to start crying. Hi! Give up on the frequency, please. They want you to know what's true for you in your heart. I'm not debating if she's right or wrong. Her work is great to read anyway. And so is a lot of other people that do the channeling. I'm not saying or dismissing them, saying they're fact or fiction. That's up for you to decide. I'm not here to make to be greedy and gain greed and abundance in the way that I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to deceive anybody. I'm not here to project a remote viewing or a snapshot that I received because it's a timeline of potentiality. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Will the earth shift? Guys, what are you seeing with your two eyes in this damn matrix? Hurricane Beryl was a 5 in July. That's unheard of. It's never happened. I went through Sandy. I went through Andrew. I went through a bunch of hurricanes in my life. They usually happen in the end of August, September, October. The amount of tornadoes that are above an F3 that are wiping towns clean. Holy crap. It's like I could only imagine what Reed Timmer gets when he sits there and does his analysis at the end of the year at how many tornadoes actually came to fruition and spun up and destroyed shit. The flooding, the volcanoes, whatever you want to ascribe to what is going on with Gaia. Gaia is purging. Yeah, there is interference. It's what it is. But a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is Gaia herself, her consciousness. It's upsetting things. It's upsetting. I get it. But when you sit in fear and anxiety and, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, you're feeding negative energy. You're giving it away freely. I'm not saying not to be prepared, but did you go into your heart space and know if it's true for you? We're immortal beings. We're eternal. We're infinite. There is no death. Our souls live on forever and ever. In the Sandlot terminology, forever. In a 3D body, it's kind of hard because we're attached emotionally to so much. We are. But we got to look past those things. My guys can tell you tomorrow that we're going to get a comet and asteroid and be wiped out. Would you believe it because I said it? Or did you go inside to know it for yourself? And that's not happening, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. I clear channel for a reason because it's what Spirit wants me to deliver in order for, here's my difference. I'm giving you tools because I'm going through it too. Do you think my angels didn't come and hug me? And hey, I know you feel alone. Here's a hug. We're not here physically, but here's a hug energetically, right? I'm going through it too. I'm not being saved in any way from going through what everybody else is going through. Okay? I'm not. I have to go through it too in order for me to be a help for others. Okay, my guides are not shielding me from the shit. I have to go through it, eat it, and experience it. Okay, I'm not avoiding it either. We collectively have to understand what people write in books, okay, does not dictate our futures. What we want conscious collectively is shifting, and they say it in this book. They like, oh, what was going to happen is kind of not happening anymore because humanity shifted its vibratory state. What a effing concept. So what are we being asked to do right now? Shift. Let's do the work. It's shifting ourselves to doing new things in new ways and changing to the new energy. It's painful. It is not an easy walk to go through, but we were chosen to walk this walk. Give yourself a pat on the back and give yourself some grace. We're all going through something. And if you're not, what illusion are you living in? And everybody's going to do it. We roll our ascension unique to us. It's going to happen in our own timing. And Tucker the other day gave a channeling about the 3 days of darkness. I don't ascribe to her angel's paradigm. I just don't. And I respect her as a channel. I respect the angels that are coming through her, but I don't ascribe to her paradigm. I just don't. I respect her wholeheartedly. She's a beautiful soul. But what her angels are saying, I don't ascribe to. It doesn't land in my heart. What I do attribute to what she is saying and what she's trying to communicate to everybody, I do agree with. It's the dark night of the soul. It doesn't mean that the world is stopping right now. And if it does, that we all chose to write together. What she's saying is coming up soon, that we're all going to have a discomforting 3 days of hell and figuring it out and going through this malaise of and having to do introspection and going through the shit ourselves. And not to say that no one's going to be there. Sounds like what I just went through. And it wasn't 3 days, it was almost 3 weeks. Everybody's jumping on a bandwagon because it feels like it fits for them, and things will fit for you. There's things that are similarly happening to you, but I don't see 3 days of the world shutting down and the pole shifting and earth changes and we're all going to the bottom where Atlantis is rising. Like, I don't see that paradigm. Doesn't mean it won't happen in some way. It will, to an extent, in some capacity, in some form. What are we seeing right now with our physical eyes is the earth shifting. We're having hurricanes in June. Okay, it's not like it never happened, but like to this capacity, no. We're seeing things happening, but is it to the extremes that people are projecting? No. Because we create our own reality. That's why you need to go into your heart to see what lands for you. Not everything I say is going to land for you. It might ask you to explore where it lands within you, but I'm not projecting it to you that you're going to have the same experience as me, because you're not. It's impossible. Even Bashar, will they come in 2025? Will the higher ascended masters of the alien races come down to say hi? That's up to us. If we go into Suzanne Ly's book, Preparing for First Contact, did you raise your frequency enough to see it? If you merge all these people and what they are saying, ball it up, bring it in to your heart to filter through. My guy said what we say to you is just to help. But sometimes you need to go into your physical heart, your space, your chakra, to know if it is in alignment with you or not. They're in no time and space. They're in infinity. They're in densities that there is no time continuum. So when they're giving us a projection, it is just that, a projection. They're not aware of time, space. Just like my father is like, oh, we're going to get you the guy. He's going to come and, okay, but when? You're not in time anymore, so you don't know. You see a big picture, you see it all working out, but I create my own reality. So in what timing? That's what frustrates until you let go. Until you're not seeing time and space as a limitation and a separation anymore. That's what we need to work on next, is understanding the higher densities and frequencies are just that. They're not bound by the same laws that we are bound by. We created the matrix to have limitation and separation. And until we consciously get out of that, we're separate from all things and we actually see that we're a part of it all. Will you start understanding the bigger picture? And each one of us collectively comes together with a massive whole of humanity to dictate how the energy is going to play out here. But in the moment in time, as we are purging, it is showing up on our outside world as Gaia is purging. All that does not belong to us anymore, that we need to release, we need to let go of the programming. So we're in that process right now of what does this cliffhanger lead to? What new book are we writing together? What is it looking like? What do we want reality to look like collectively? Because we're all going to be a part of it. My reality is unique to me, but I still need everybody to perceive the beauty that I want to bring into the world. So how do we do that? Let it go. The mental nonsense. This is where I'm moving into. This is the green ray. We are moving into the green way. We're getting out of the solar plexus. We're moving into the heart. That is fourth density, fourth dimension. And there is a lot of areas in between those densities and suboctaves and octaves and suboctaves. There's so much wave energy going on because we are dictated. Tesla was right. Frequency and vibration, and we're riding that roller coaster right now. We need to. We can't. If we stay up here all the time, we're not going to figure out what's going on down here. We're in flux. And only your heart is going to be able to guide you. You have higher guidance. You need to ask for clarity. I stop listening to people project. As soon as I hear the projection of the doom and gloom, I stop, because that's not a paradigm I'm ascribing to. They even said, we raised our consciousness, it's not going to happen the way you think. Okay, and this was written and she's fantastic about some of the things that she's written about. I'm not. This is copywritten in 1999. Okay, but she talks about Hurricane Andrew in here. Like 1992. But our paradigm shifted in 2012. So a lot of the world ending stuff was one parallel reality that we were all in at one point. That's why we have a Mandela effect, in my estimation. We superseded that timeline. we were taken out of it, the parallel, the reflection, and we were brought back into the fold. We were saved. We saved ourselves. We chose collectively a better timeline, a better reality for ourselves. But stuff still has to play out because we came here to the limited, separated world to have experience and to learn and have this major metamorphosis happening that's never been done before. Didn't do it. No other being, no other soul has come into form and had this happen to them in physicality. It happens usually after you die, physically. So be very careful who you're listening to, who you're reading. And listen, I love her. She talks about walk-ins. And that's really why I started reading some of her books, is to get an idea of what her guides say about walk-ins. Do I agree with everything that comes out of her guides? And it's not Ruth, it's her guides and her higher self giving her information. But do I believe everything she writes? Absolutely not. She's talking I'm like near the chapter where they're talking about a bunch of the people she knows was in Palestine with Jesus. And all the people that were there incarnated. Do you know how many people claim that they are an aspect of Jesus, Mary, Miriam, John the Baptist, all of them? I mean, so many people, but what her guides didn't explain to her was that it's not just her group. It is a lot of people because your soul is so infinite. It's fractalized. It's like a diamond. It's fractaled. It is expansive. So it's not just one person that occupied John the Baptist. It is multiple souls that encompassed John the Baptist. And when John the Baptist ascended, he sent a shit ton of his fragments down to have different experiences to different people. You see how that works? We string ourselves entangled out. That's why you're multidimensional. That's why you can say, whoever you are attaching an energy to you, like Yeshua, like Mary, like Lilith, like Lucifer, like any of these entities. It's because you do have that fractal of them in you. They make a part of your soul up, but you make a part of everybody else's souls up. It's like a mind shift, a perspective. You're unique in your energy in this vehicle. When your body dies, your soul and its energy is unique, but it will merge as you ascend again with your other selves that make a bigger energy and a bigger light and a bigger light and a bigger light. And it's so fucking expansive. It's beautiful. I've seen this for myself. It's beautiful. You can't put words to it. And even if I were to try to paint it, it would never express what visually I've seen. My town needs to really do something with the assholes. Sorry, the other selves that are jerks who don't know how to drive. They need to do something about that. Because again, I think I just heard a car accident. Give me a second. My goodness. A long pause. I do apologize. A lot of spiritual chatter in my mind, which most of it is me just processing a download and them saying how correct I am in my assumptions and estimations on things and what they're trying to through me. We all need to go inside of ourselves to know what is right for us and us alone. We collectively make up the world. So when we start choosing ourselves, not in a selfish manner, taking self-care, doing the work that is required to move forward, putting out the good energy. When you neglect your needs, your wants, your desires, they're 3D limitations, by the way. When you're able to see the big picture, where does your morals stand in? Are you going to allow other people to dictate your reality? Are you going to come together with people who want to have similar things to make this world beautiful? It's not going to look the same in everybody's point of view. Perspective, remember, everybody's picture of the shit in the middle of the room is going to look different. It's still the same shit. Still the same shit. It's just your perception of it. And when we can all kind of collectively come together and understand that we dictate what is on our outside world, now how do we make the changes to better the universe, better the world, is only when things are actually going to start manifesting in the material world. There's not enough of us in the higher realms of thinking, in our awareness states of frequency, which is all in flux. We're here right now to formulate, we're writing the code to the next matrix, right? Think of it that way. We're all here to write the next book, to formulate the code. And it takes time to figure out what each and every one of us wants and how to come together to compromise some of those things that might not be as important right now, because we're living in the right now moment. What do we want our world to look like? How do we want things to look? That is up to all of us collectively to think about. Gaia wants to give us so much because she wants it for herself too. It's a twofold relationship. So when we sit and think about, okay, so what change needs to happen in society? Well, what has to play out? So people who are in that awareness see, okay, there is something wrong. Things don't look right. How do we move? How do we shift? We are getting a lot of help from our other higher selves, our galactic families that we are a part of. We're getting a lot of help from all types of realms. The shift is very important for them as well, because once they see that we have survived it, that we can go through a shift in a vessel on a low density, the possibilities are endless into higher realms of how to shift other societies, other cultures, other galaxies. That's why everybody's focused on us right now. That's why we're incorporating all the dimensionality into this vehicle. The upheaval is happening. It's not to the extremes of coastlines being wiped out, and yes, towns are being wiped out by tornadoes. The landscape is changing, but it's not happening at the scary. There's a tidal wave and it's coming and New York is wiped out. It's not to those extremes. Just because somebody's guide said it was going to happen like that doesn't mean it's going to manifest that way. Because now that we have the awareness that that's not what collectively we want, we don't want this to happen this way. We shift the energy of the planet, of the consciousness. So it's not as destructive. It's not as bad. Yeah, the tornado is going to hit, but it's an EF0. It did some damage, but it didn't wipe away homes or farmland. Everything's a state of mind. It's a frequency, it's a bandwidth, it's band waves, it's frequency, it's vibratory states. When you can align, okay, I went through a tough 3 weeks and it's still continuing. I'm just not allowing it to bother me anymore. I'm transmuting it. And that's something that all of us need to do. I needed to confront this shadow, this aspect of myself that I thought I let go of a long time ago, came up and bit me in the ass, but it bit me in the ass in a different way. Now I have to discover and explore mentally how to play the gymnastics game of not wobbling off the vault or the board, the balance beam. I wobbled a lot, but I didn't fall off this time, where other times I'd fallen off. And I didn't want to get back up to finish the routine. Now I'm going back up from where I wobbled to finish out my performance instead of giving up and walking away in tears. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm standing in my convictions. I'm standing in my empowerment, my power. I'm standing in, okay, so I got to be strong for myself because no one else is standing here with me. I have to stand on my 2 feet. I have to make my life happen. No one else can do it for me. We depend on other people, but in my estimation, from my own perspective, because this is the life that I have lived, I've been very much alone. My parents really barely hugged me. That's just a thing. I didn't experience love the way other people do. I don't think I actually have felt it from another person that they actually unconditionally loved me in a romantic standpoint. I had so much abuse and being used because people's intentions were in the right direction in the first place. And then all of a sudden there was a shift and I saw that I was being used for nothing more than a scrap, a fantasy, an urge. People want to make a connection, but they want it for the wrong reasons. Where I have to sit and protect my essence, my energy, because I give it away. And yeah, it's supposed to happen this way as a way shower. I give it away freely, but I also need a return. My cup needs to be full in order to pour it out onto humanity. I can't be depleted and sitting in, okay, well, I want to manifest abundance and I want to manifest and I want to help everybody, but I can't have I don't have the resources right now. So what is limiting me? What is blocking me? What is not happening so I can obtain these things? And those are the questions I have to go deep down inside and ask why. A lot of you have to do the same. It's not easy. The work is very difficult because you're confronting something that really shook you up, that traumatized you, that changed the course of your life. For good or bad, it's a path that you needed to take to learn from. So what's the lesson? And it's a learning in a human form to detach emotionally. And that's hard because emotions play. They're here because we need them to feel. Other dimensions, they don't have what we have. That's why we chose to have this experience. So it's learning how to deep dive into yourself and giving yourself that compassion. Playing the mental gymnastics, it takes time. We want to master our minds. When we become the masters, this is why ascended masters, and this is why people who are nothing but contemplating, reflecting introspectively, Buddhist monks, they're funny. They're like, yeah, fuck you. Like, but they're peaceful. It takes a long time to get to that aspect and that point. And now all of it's being thrown at us in a snap. And it's a lot of energy. It's very confusing. We don't know what way is up or down. And we're just traversing this time gently. So be gentle with yourself. I just chose, you saw me shuffle. Make it your mission to accept all parts of you, the good and what you perceive to be your imperfections. Don't look for any outside validation. It's already within you. Once you realize your true beauty and potential, you will never doubt yourself again. Don't lose sight of this truth. You came here to evolve and grow. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. That is when you will grow the most. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Be proud of your journey. There. Slow down and take your time. There is no rush. You are already doing your part. Trust that what belongs in your life is already making its way towards you in divine timing. Like I said, everything happens in divine orchestration. There is a timing. It's just something we don't have control of. And this is coming directly from source itself, not from the other higher densities that don't have a concept of time. Their concept and our concept is two different things. And it's hard when they give us a projection of something that could potentially happen. The time is never there and it's never on. So Ann Tucker telling us about the 3 days of darkness, it can happen in 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 days, or never at all because we shifted the consciousness. I'm not disrespecting Anne by saying that. I value a lot of what her angels say because a lot of it is what we need to transmute our energy and our emotional states. It's not just about a 3 days of darkness. It's the processing that we need to take that from her. The same thing with any other channel and any other person putting out information. Go in your heart space. Know if that message is right for you or not. Like I said, I don't sit in trance and let another being come, well, another form of myself come through me. I can, I choose not to. I consciously channel. Because what they're trying to do, my higher selves, my essences, my elementals, my all of that, that's a part of the whole, by the way. That saying mine as it's I'm owning it. It's that they're talking to me. Sorry. They want to convey what needs to be healed as a collective, individually as well. That's why they come through with the cards and it's always succinct and synchronistic. And every time I do one of these spiritual soul advices, they're giving you the tools in order to go in. And if it does not align, they don't want you tackling it. But a lot of what I get a lot of good responses from people. It's like, wow, that really made sense. And now I'm going to apply what your guides said through the cards or said through you and apply it to me in the way that needs to be done by me. It's just guidance. And your free will allows you to do it or not. So when you come into a book or a person or a listening, learn how to learn what your heart is singing, what it wants. The longer we sit and understand our heart and what it wants and aligning it with the rest of our chakra system and the rest of our other selves, the more you're going to perceive the both sides playing its game out and the chessboard being moved. You're going to see things that should not affect you. If it does, it needs to be healed. It needs to come to the surface. It needs to be released. That's also a layering process. It doesn't happen in one snap. Something that happened 13 years ago for me just came up again in a different way. I had to go back and understand how to let it go this time. And it might come back in another 2 years. And then I have to pluck that lotus has to unfold and keep unfolding and keeps unfolding until it's bloomed. It's a process. So is ascension. We're taking our steps, and some of us are further along the path than others. But we're all in the same building. No one's being left behind. Everybody's at different stages, and you got to honor that. I know there's people way above me, and they're on the deck on the cruise, like, yeah, I did all the work. I'm waiting for you. What do you need from me? Here's some advice. As you're sitting in the sun, soaking it up. Well, I'm like a mess. Okay, but I'm also going to get to that deck, and I'm going to also be that guidance for somebody when they're going through the thick of shit. All of us are going to be doing that for other people. That's why I wanted to come on today, show you those TikToks, because I needed to forgive myself. I can't control any other person. I can't control if someone's going to help me or not, if someone's going to press the like button or share my content or not. That inevitably helps me so that I can have another source of income. But if you're not that privy to wanting to help me, that's okay too, as long as you're getting the message and doing something with it. And if you don't, that's your free will. I can't control anybody but myself and my reactions. You want to see the good in other people, but you also have to know that there's deception, a lot of deception, a lot of greed, a lot of people who aren't coming from the heart speaking. They're coming from their head that is egotistical. They might be the best person ever, but when this sings a sweet symphony, a lot of changes have been occurring. You could start seeing people's agendas. I want the best for everybody. I want to be that infinite light that wraps around everybody. Everything, not just who I choose, all of it. Because I believe in Gaia. I believe in all of us coming together and working in unity. You have to free yourself up of the old programming. We're moving into a new system, and that is not going to support the old program. So how do we move ourselves into the new program? We're writing it right now. We got to write it together, but not many people are tackling how to write it. What are we using? What do we want the world to look like? How do we want it to operate? As much as we think that the militaries around the world are conjoining together and conspiring and doing all this stuff, do they have the best will and intention for humanity? I don't know, because everything is secretive and we can't know about nothing. Yet take my money. That whole system has to collapse. How do we want our futures to look? And we can't just make a snap and have it happen. It needs to be in stages so that all of us, not just some, all of us can enjoy it together as a humanity. And you are only perceiving a little portion of what you're able to see in your outside world. So it's a lot of things going on energetically. There's a lot of things going on in the world. There's a lot of projection and purging happening. So detox, do you. Go in your heart space. Don't sink into the gloom and doom. Heal yourself. It's a forever process. It never ends. So don't think that you graduated from one healing to another. Yeah, and you're going to keep doing it. Have compassion and grace for yourself. It's the biggest theme that has been raised up in a while. Yeah, all my guys were saying they've been trying hard to impress this on the population, on whoever watches me, is to go in and start doing the work, because like I said, this is my 7th extreme dark night of the soul. Like, I was checked out, gone, done with it all. And when you hit that abyss, in that void, you have to be the nightlight that starts becoming the flashlight, that starts becoming the lighthouse again. You will get there. It's a process. You have to process this stuff in order for the new stuff to come in. If we don't allow it, because we're blocking ourselves from going into those deep crevices of hell in order to climb back out again, the journey is a beautiful journey once it unfolds, and once you see your shit and own it and eat it and deal with it, and then you can release it. You are the diamond and the millions of facets of colors and hues within it. You're a spark of God. Own it. You are Christ. We all are. That's how he's back. You're Christed. Own it. It's an office that we all hold together. That's why they said he's coming back. It's not Yeshua coming back. It's the concept of the Christ is back. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my words, go into your heart to know if that's right for you. But know that you're limiting yourself when you are not exploring the multidimensional, interdimensional aspect of how vast and infinite your soul is. We only perceive our little itty bitty soul in this body because we have the veil of forgetting. It's cruel. But in order for God to know itself pure, we need to forget what we are in a bigger sense. We're now remembering. We're grabbing different components of what we are and incorporating it within our heart. It's not an easy task, but we volunteered because they knew we were able to hold and stay strong. And those who can't, they're going to assign with us, but in spirit form, because we're already over there. We're already in spirit. We're light. We're energy. We're everything. We're already in spirit. We're having fun with our ancestors right now. You're just not aware of it. You're in a star cluster somewhere millions and billions of miles and millions of different galaxies away right now, having a different life in a different body in a different form. You're the ascended master guiding that people are praying to. Don't limit yourself because a book tells you that only this person is the son of John the Baptist. And this one has the soul of this one and that one and this one. When that's honestly not the truth, because multiple people can be multiple souls. We're all one. It's hard to wrap your head around that concept. Many people claim to be Mary, Miriam, Sarah, Job, Zeus, Thor, Freya. I am not alone with the Freya thing. Freya is only a fractal of me, and I know that there's other people that have Freya in her. We can't limit ourselves. Just don't. And you don't need to ascribe to having a million different entities that make you up. You don't have to use that paradigm. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there that will make claims. I make a lot of claims, but I know I'm not the only one that has archangels that come through me, or I have ascended masters. I'm not alone, and I don't want to be put up on a podium and idolatrized. That's no. That's when you know there's trouble, that there's deception. It's not about being famous. It's about helping humanity. Just getting the energy exchange that equates to what you get is all that should be needed. I'm going to see what I can make for lunch because I only eat now once a day. Try to lose some weight. And do some meditating and hopefully some artwork today. Clear more of my shit. But I felt it was necessary. It's a new moon tonight. Put your intentions out there. When you get to the high, like Bashar says, when you get to that highest excitement, give yourself the permission slip to imagine it. But once you get to that state of elatement in your energy field, drop it. Because now the universe is going to carry it. If you keep thinking about something and anxious, it's not going to manifest the way you want. So raise the frequency, see what you want, see past what you want. I'm going to try it now. So guys, thank you so much. And yes, my gratitude to everybody who helps and is keeping me alive, as always. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Go within. Be the shoulder. Be the lighthouse. Seed your truths. This guidance is what you should be going. And yes, listen to your higher selves. But they give you tests too. Because you need to align with your heart first. So find your heart, know thyself. And I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend and a blessed day. Bye for now.